Ladies and gentlemen, it is with a heavy heart, thoughts and prayers going out to the Jenneret family this weekend, as longtime Sabres announcer Rick Jenneret lost his battle over the last couple of years with multiple organ failure this past Thursday. All of Central and Western New York reaches out to the Jenneret family, and tonight we race in Rich Jenneret's honor. Rich Jenneret actually started with the Sabres in their inaugural season, the 71-72 season. And for the next 50 years, he was the voice of Buffalo. Not just a Sabres fan, but he also supported the Bills, the Bandits in the Professional Hockey League, or Professional Lacrosse League, and the Buffalo Bisons of the Minor League Baseball franchise. His best-known call has to go back to 1993 with Brian May's overtime goal against the Boston Bruins. And anybody that can call themselves a hockey fan remembers that call, as the Sabres swept Boston in the first playoff series in over a decade. And Jenneret punctuated that call with the screams of "Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. These guys are good, scary good." Thoughts and prayers go out to the entire Jenneret family this weekend as we come to Watkins Glen International Raceway in the picturesque Finger Lakes region of central New York, wine country of the East, if you will, for those of you who are from the Napa Valley. This is where real wine is made. For round number 24 of the Stacy Strong Cup Series. Tony Trapasso, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming you to my backyard, if you will, and a place that any race fan in central New York grew up loving. And I know Rich Jenneret, he came here every once in a while and enjoyed a good race and a nice Salen's hot dog, as Salen's is the official hot dog provider of not only the Buffalo Sabres, but also of the Watkins Glen International Raceway. Looks like the practice session now coming to an end. Jacob Schneider picking up right where he left off last week. Currently sits atop the pile, and only your top five have gone sub 111 here tonight. That is good. Scary good. To quote the man that actually is the reason why I got involved in broadcasting. Growing up in the Syracuse area, I grew up listening to some of Rick's calls on the radio, and because of him is why I kind of got into this. It's Nick Stein, the first one to roll it in the 80 deuce. Take a quick look at our point standings coming into tonight. No real movement at the top of the pile. You got to go down to 15th place. As Derek Heitman pointed his way into the playoffs last week. And then we take a look at a little bit further down, that battle back there. I mean, Ken Ron's got to pick up a couple points on Alex Gangler. And Jacob Schneider jumps 24 spots after his win at Indy on the Indy Road Course. And Jacob Schneider, with the virtue of 2 wins, has made his way now into the playoffs. Top 32
Tony,
in points.
If you remember, he thought that was grim. If you remember that.
Oh, yeah. He was not happy. Schneider and Heitman both were not happy after last week's performances. Schneider and Heitman both pointed their way in. Schneider's in by virtue of 2 wins and being in the top 32 in points, and Heitman is just in, period.
Yeah, and both these guys thought they were going to come up short. You were very confident, so was I. And now, by virtue of strong performances, wins, and both these drivers are in and looking to keep that momentum rolling right here from Elmira, New York tonight.
You are absolutely correct. Just outside of Elmira. But, yeah, I mean, Matt, we were talking about RJ in the Open. What did RJ mean to you as a kid that grew up in the Buffalo Metroplex?
The ultimate voice that could capture anyone's attention. Even the non-sports fans were drawn in and captivated by him. And that's really ultimately, out of all the great things that he did, that's probably the number one thing that stuck out to me. His ability to use his voice as a broadcaster and his knowledge of the sport to be able to just, it's like bass fishing. When you go out in the water that day and it's like glass and you got the perfect bait, and the minute that that hook hits the water, boom, it just goes ballistic. And that's what he was to me.
I'm going to mention some names to you, Matt, and tell me what's the first sport that comes to mind when I say the name.
Okay.
Eli Gold. College football, right?
Not a college football fan, so I apologize.
He also did a lot of MRN broadcasts. So Eli Gold, he was the voice of NASCAR for quite a few years. He was also a rabid Alabama fan. John Madden and Pat Summerall. NFL.
Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Harry Carey. Of course,
good old Harry.
Baseball. As soon as you heard those men's voices, you instantly knew what sport you were watching and what teams you were watching. In some cases.
Without question.
And, of course, the minute Rich Jenneret opened up a microphone, you knew you were watching a Sabres game, and he was going to make it the most exciting game you ever listened to on the radio.
Even if the team had a down year, they weren't in the playoff hunt, you would never know it. Especially if you just listen to the radio broadcast. And oftentimes, not that Empire did a bad job. I would turn the TV down and turn Rick the Man up and let him do his thing.
Absolutely. And, it's just nothing short of miraculous that he was able to put up a 50-year broadcast experience. 50 years just for that man alone as the Sabres play-by-play guy. And he actually started doing play-by-play back in 1965 for a team in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a story. I mean, he just kind of fell in the Sabres' lap, right place, the right time. I don't think anyone in Buffalo knew what they had until broadcast number 1. But after that, I mean, it's been history. I mean, he's been the guy, throughout the entire history of the Sabres up until, I believe, 2 seasons.
That man bled blue and gold. And in the 90s, it was red and black, but he still bled blue and gold. It didn't matter what color the team was wearing. That man bled Buffalo colors. And his induction into not only the Sabres Hall of Fame, but the Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame, the overall Broadcasting Hall of Fame, and the NHL Hall of Fame. Uh, those were special moments. Just the fact that even when he stepped away from broadcasting, he was still an ambassador for that team. And he was
Yeah.
still doing behind the scenes stuff, kind of um, advising the people in charge of, hey, you might want to look at this kid who's coming up through seniors. This guy's playing junior A. You might want to take a look at him. This guy who's playing for Rochester. Bring him up for a game to see how he gels.
That's a great point, Tony. Not only was he a great broadcaster, but he was also, probably one of the best kept secrets as an undercover scout. You're absolutely right. And how many times have we seen his influence come into fruition when you had a starting, left winger, right winger, all because Rick said, hey, give this kid a chance, bring him up.
And that's the thing. He had such a great eye for talent. Because he had seen the best of the best. You got to go back to the early years of the team. The French Connection. He's the one that coined the phrase "the French Connection," as there were 3 Canadians that were of Quebec origin that when they were on a line together, forget it. The puck was going in the goal whether you wanted it or not.
He was so good with coming up with all of these one-liners and catchphrases. That's something that I kind of like to do. And that's all because of what I listened to him do growing up as a kid.
Absolutely. That's where most of my stuff came from, was how would Rick say this? Rich Jenneret, he's always going to be the voice of Buffalo sports. And, I mentioned it during the Open that I still get chills when I go back and watch the call of Brad May's 1993 overtime winner against the Bruins.
The Mayday call.
Absolutely. Probably the most famous call in hockey history.
Yeah, that's my personal number one. And my number 2 is Top Shelf Where Mama Hides the Cookies.
Absolutely. I love that call as well. And folks, in case you're wondering where Matt and I get that from, Rich Jenneret. We borrow from the best. And that's all I'm going to say about what I come up with for broadcasting. I borrow from the best.
And how fitting is it? Tonight we land, or I should say all week, we're here at Watkins, Glen, New York. As you mentioned, a place that he spent a lot of time here with his family over these race weekends, as the sport's been coming here for as long as I can remember. And
wine tours with the wife was one of his favorite things to do. And where better to go on a wine tour if you live in western and central New York, right here in the Finger Lakes near Watkins Glen. A lot of inns, as I don't know what Lauren Jones is doing. Rafael Rodriguez is on his second lap. I don't know if he's going to get it in.
Yeah, time starting to become an issue here for some of these guys.
If Rodriguez gets a clean lap here, this is going to be a solid time in the field. Currently, only 17 drivers have laid down legitimate passes. Sean Rogers negated both his laps. Nate Spomer negated both of his. John Crow, Alex Gangler negating all of their passes. Only Ken Ron, Matt, John Wilco, and Lauren Jones have not actually laid a lap down. And that lap did not count for Rodriguez. They're getting stingy. They're getting stingy on both the penultimate corner and the first corner here at the Glen as time runs to an end. Schneider, quick time. Congratulations to him.
Schneider is just on one heck of a roll, Tony. I mean,
oh, he absolutely is. And even you take a look at the driver info. This whole field showing love, and that's not R.J. Root, folks. That is Rich Jenneret.
Appreciate you, Jake. And I know Tony does as well.
Absolutely. A lot of drivers showing love for Rich Jenneret and his family here tonight. Let's go back and take a look at that points battle. Again, no real shakeups at the top, but Heitman sitting 15th best. He just pointed his way in after a second place finish last week. And you take a look down there at Jacob Schneider, he went from 35th to 27th. Actually, no, he went from 43rd to 27th.
Talk about a huge jump.
Yeah,
I mean,
plus 24 in a week.
I mean, that's insane. But
Absolutely.
That's just how good he's been. He has just been absolutely electric.
And by virtue of those 2 wins that he has in his pocket, top 32 in points and a victory, Schneider's in the playoffs. And Heitman, by consistently finishing towards the top of the scoring pylon, I mean, he's only not gone into the top 5 in one race. And that was because he got wrecked out early by nothing of his own doing. And that was back in Chicago.
Right. And that's going back a ways now, Tony.
Yeah.
So
that's the only time that Heitman did not finish in the top 5 since he joined this league.
And if I remember correctly, he was having a great run at Chicago until trouble found him on the racetrack or the race course.
It was just a tangle with a lap car.
That took him right out of contention. It just tore him up.
As it did with a lot of drivers, is unfortunately there's no runoff in that concrete jungle that is Chi-Town. But we got some racing here to do tonight. Everybody putting their final tune-ups in. As Matt, let's take a quick look at the conditions coming into tonight, as it's not as bad as we saw Friday.
No, that track temp just north of the century mark, not the 123 or 132 that we've seen. So that track's going to have a lot more grip in it. Cloudy conditions, that's helping that track temperature stay down keeping that at bay. 80 degrees ambient air temperature, 54% water drain, as you would like to say, Tony. That means these cars are going to be making a decent amount of horsepower here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the track temperature at 106, that's not the worst we've seen, as we're just a little bit before 3 p.m. in sim time. And with the scattered clouds all over the area, it's helping to keep that track temperature down. As you can attest, when you guys were here Friday for the MSRL, those guys were having to deal with 132.
Yeah, it was like trying to drive out there on melted butter. It was not fun.
Might as well had snow on the track at that point. It would have been more grip.
Wrong.
Put some studded snow tires on, you would have had more grip than what you guys had out there on Friday evening. But here we are, beautiful Sunday afternoon in the Finger Lakes. And again, some of those picturesque areas you're ever going to see. People hear New York State, and all they think about is that abomination down on the island. No. New York State, there's a lot of farms around here, and a lot of them here in the Finger Lakes region. Not only corn, but soybeans and vineyards galore. I mean, you throw a dart at a New York State map near the Finger Lakes, I guarantee, throw 10 darts, you're going to hit 5 wineries. Minimum.
Yeah, they are plentiful in the region. You're absolutely right, Tony.
But I mean, and I say this when we go to Pocono, and I'm going to say it when we come here. There's a lot to do other than just Watkins Glen International. There are so many historic sites in this area as well. You don't have to be a budding alcoholic to go on a wine tour. There are also a lot of historic sites within an hour's drive of this place.
Well, and not to mention, Tony, you can, if you're up to it, you can go the distance and hike the Glen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's so many walking trails around here. that, I mean, just a beautiful area that I'm proud to call my home. And Matt, what do you say we get right into it as we bring up tonight's starting grid? Starting up on the pole, setting quick time here tonight, 1 minute 10.5 with a 2-0. 9 thousandths over Alex Murray. Jacob Schneider gets the quick time award. RJ Root going to roll it from inside row number 2. He's going to be joined with Nick Stein. Now, with us racing in Rich Jenneret's honor, are we going to see another RJ throw it into victory lane tonight? Stay with us and find out. Derek Heitman and Matt White going to roll it from row number 3. Jeremy Miller and Ryan Samuelson going to start from row number 4. Row 5, Bennett Allen and Brandon Edstrom, Alex Princeton and RP Allen rounding out the top half of the field. Matt.
In 12th, that's going to be, 13th, that's going to belong to Aaron Mack at Money House Racing in the 31. Outside of him, rolling off 14th, that's Dave Few Jr. in the 71. Rounding out your top 15 in 15th, Tanner Marty in the 29. Been the best of the Camaros. Let's see if he continues that trend as these cars start to roll off here. 16th belongs to the 10 of Chris Claude, Joe Gibbs Racing. 17th belongs to Mark Johnson in the 80. Rolling outside of him tonight in the 44 ride, that's going to be in 18th, Sean Rockin' Rogers. 19th, Ken Ron in the 33. Outside of him, John Crow Sr. in the 95. 21st belongs to John Wilco in the 62, All Smiles Racing. 22nd, Godzilla Rick Jett in the 77. 23rd, Rafael Rodriguez, who did not get that lap in as qualifying was expiring, in the 60. 24th belongs to Nathaniel Spoomer in the 55. Thank you, Tony. 26th, that's going to be Lauren Jones in the 11. Watch for him to come towards the front. 27th, Cody Colley in the 56. And rounding out the 28 starters here from Watkins, Glen, New York, certainly least but not last, Ron Fittig in the 3.
And from the looks of it, Rich Jett and Aaron Mack did not take the grid at all. Wilco, Spoomer, Gangler, and Ron are all electing to pit start. Maybe they know something the rest of us don't. As the field comes down the back straightaway here, and you see that P1 coffee ride of the man who's had a pretty hot hand over the last couple of weeks. Dueling P1 coffee Ford Mustangs at the front of this piece. The 0 deuce and the double deuce of your points leader, Alex Murray, going to start to the outside as field filing behind that iRacing pace car, which the iRacing pace car just had an off track. For those of you watching, hey. Hopefully we're back. There we go. As it is football season, as hockey season right around the corner. Rest in peace, Rich Jenneret. As the pace car gets ready to haul it out, the only thing it's left to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab the wine because it's time to get it on in the Finger Lakes. Race fans, it's showtime!
Green flag in the air from Watkins, Glen. Hot hands on the front row. You got Heitman versus the 22 of Alex Murray side by side as they go down into one. It's all clean at the front. Heitman trying to slide in front of the 22, and Schneider. He does. Or Schneider, thank you. Schneider's going to get the advantage here. Oh, we got problems. Someone's just...
Rafael Rodriguez just had a big moment. And RP Allen, oh no.
Yeah, the 60s got pug nose all over the front of that Ford Mustang, and I believe, as you said, RP Allen may have been involved in that too.
As Rafael Rodriguez was getting ready Rafael Rodriguez was getting ready to cold trickle the field. See a lot of brake lock up. Oh! That started with Allen. Rodriguez nowhere to go. Let's see what happened to that Red Bull number 7 Toyota, who was your highest running Toyota at the time.
And This, of course, on the SRM instant replay.
No.
Yeah.
3 wide in front of these guys.
That doesn't work.
Just overcooks it and bonk.
Bam. Nowhere to go for the 60, as you said, Tony.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I do not want another. As we go back up to the lead of this race, big shocker, Schneider and Murray start to fill a gap.
Yeah, I figured these two would be potentially the class of the field.
Nick
more
Stein.
Trouble. Oh, Stein time.
Oh, he's had
crab walking.
What happened to Stein? He had a great qualifying run. Oh, crap.
One of the big powerhouses in the league with a torn up race car, to say the least, Tony.
Oh, and that could be why. Yep, there it goes. Yep, that's a torn up race car. We go back up here to the front. Schneider starts to pull a little bit of a gap on Alex Murray. Murray runs it wide. And here comes the peloton. Murray ran it wide, but now he's got to deal with RJ himself, Raymond Root.
'69 time there, making a statement here early.
Absolutely is.
You shouting out RJ as well. We appreciate you.
Caliber Collision number 69 on a mission right now, as he has been dropping some points over the last few weeks and definitely trying to turn things around here at the super speedway of road courses, as you like to say.
He absolutely certainly is. He started third, currently runs in that third place position.
Schneider just almost bettered. No, he almost matched his qualifying attempt.
That's insane, because I'm pretty sure Schneider, probably like others, had a qualifying and a race setup.
And now he does better it.
Oh my goodness.
10 with a 3. Wow.
I'm gonna start calling this kid Hyperbean. PJ1 Coffee.
Oh, absolutely.
Coffee. I'm sorry. He is on a ripper again.
No, PJ1 is a fuel, bud.
Oh, that's right. That it is. He's got me fueled up.
And being as it is football season, Bennett Allen repping Detroit. And, you know, Matt, speaking of football season, you know, RJ was also a Bills fan. And, you know, with the Bills and the Sabres having nothing but heartbreak over the past few seasons, if anybody can bring championships to Buffalo, if RJ's got any pull up there, because I guarantee you, being a Buffalo fan, that man served his hell here on earth. If he's got any pull up on the other side with God, he's bringing championships home to Buffalo here this season, as Alex Murray just blistered one.
Alex Murray saying, hey, don't forget about me. I'm still here. And he's holding down that third place position. Slid one back when he went wide there into one, kind of blew the braking zone a little bit. RJ Root was able to capitalize, but Murray's still holding strong there in that third position right now. How about Bennett Allen, though, in that 15, started 9th up to 5th? That car is hooked up here early.
And you take a look at your two biggest movers. We got to go back here to 16th place, Cody Colley. He's plus 11. And big shocker, Tanner Marty and Sean Rogers, who have been two of the fastest Chevys all season, plus 4 and plus 6, respectively.
That guy's having a great run here early on as well. Tanner Marty, he's been the class of the Camaros time.
Oh, hang on, Nor. Bennett Allen runs it wide in 11. And, you know, I'm going to prove to you folks that this is a 12-turn track. And we're going to go on board with Bennett Allen to prove it. Here we go, down into turn number 1.
We start climbing the hill. Whoa!
And we were on board for that. And that's one of the things I was about to get out of my mouth was you don't want to straddle those rumble strips because it will high side you like doing a 50-50 rail grind in a skateboard. Here we go up into turn number 2. This is the 2-3-4 complex. 3, 4. Down the back straightaway into the bus stop.
Very hard braking zone here. Make sure you got it load up.
Yep. And this is
and she goes off track again.
5, 6, 7, and 8 sideways. Bennett Allen not having a good time of it.
Nice save.
And now we go into 9 and 10 that'll make up the carousel. And that is Dave Foog Jr., who just had a big issue coming through the carousel. We'll go back and take a look at that momentarily. So that was 9 and 10. This is 11. The only true left-hand corner on the track. So there goes Rafael Rodriguez by, and through turn 12 onto pit road for Allen. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to the 70. Coming down the back straightaway with a good head of steam. That is the 71 of Frug. Rocking mellow yellow on the car tonight. Catches rumble strip. More rumble strip. A little too much rumble strip maybe. Nope, just overcooked it into 9.
That's easy to do there. That's a downhill sweeping corner, and that back end will get really light on you. You got to be really careful through there. You just got a little too aggressive and around you went.
Absolutely. As we're going to go back to live action, there he is working on Rafael Rodriguez. This is your closest battle on track for 15th right now. A little forward-on-forward crime, as I like to call it. These guys are just picking them up and laying them down right now as we're already 8 laps into this 90-lap event. No stage cautions tonight, but we are going to see a competition caution somewhere around halfway.
Yeah, at random, that is not planned.
And
so we don't know for certain. The drivers don't know for certain.
Race control is going to throw that whenever they damn well please. Somewhere around between laps 40 and 50. Now the stage caution will happen at laps 20 or the stage ends will happen at lap 20 and 40. There will be stage points, but no caution.
Yeah, stage points will be awarded, but no caution like we see everywhere else, except here on the road courses in NASCAR Cup Series competition. At least this season, we see if this trend continues in the next season. But for right now, that's how we're doing it.
I actually like that because, you know, road course is about strategy. And you got to have your fuel calculations down spot on. And
I still hate stage racing. I've never been a fan of it.
So do I.
I just
you go to any short track in North America on a given Friday, Saturday, or Sunday evening. You know, Short Track America. You know, for example, they just had the ovarian cancer race at Oswego Speedway yesterday. It was Teal Palace instead of the Steel Palace, and you know, you go to watch those races, and there's no stages. It's a 50-lap shootout for all the marbles, and you better make sure you got your fuel and tire calculations spot on. And to throw another wrinkle into the works, at most of those short tracks, you have to run the same tire in the feature that you did in the 10-lap heat race.
Yeah, so you really got to save the whole way through the heats and the feature. You're right, Tony. Continue to watch here. Going back up towards the front, Jeremy Miller continues. He slid back another spot here, looks like, Tony. Now he's in that 4th place position.
No, that Murray's in 2nd. This is Miller. Miller is +3.
Oh, thank you, Tony. Yeah, Miller's having a great run. You're right. Started in that 7th place position. Now knocking on the back door of the top 3.
Matt White has caught him, though. White sitting +1 right now, and you go back to Cody Colley in the 56, not running the super float tonight. He's got KFC on that, and damn, I could go for some Colonel right now myself.
Yeah, extra crispy, hot and spicy, please.
No, I'll take original recipe chicken titties.
That works too. But you're right, definitely a paint scheme change, but I'm digging it.
Oh, yeah.
Got the Colonel on board here, and why not?
What is it about this Sunday Night League that always makes us hungry?
Usually it's Lauren Jones and Cheetos, but tonight it's the 56 with the Colonel on board.
Well, Lauren Jones back in the regular Cheetos ride as the other RJ, Rich Jet, goes by him to put him a lap down. Jones not having a good time of it here on the road course. But speaking of RJs, Rich Jet +6. Nicely done, sir.
Yeah, Godzilla doing Godzilla type things, starting deep in the field and picking them off as we go. He's been strong as of recent too. He has really come on the past 2 months or so, Tony. He just keeps getting better and better.
And we're going to be at a track where he had a top 5 finish to start the season, back at Daytona next week.
So I bet you he has that one circled. High expectations next week as well. Godzilla continues to feast and eat on the competition. Jeremy Miller there continues to run in that 4th place position. You mentioned Matt White. This guy has been streaky at times, and when he gets hot, he gets white hot. And we've seen him at the front duking it out for wins. Can Watkins Glen light that flame underneath that Mustang again? We're about to find out. Stay with us. Live coverage here the entirety, all the way through here on SRM, as White's painting a bead on the back of that 30 machine.
He absolutely is. And you talk about white hots. One of the 2 special mixes that Salen's Meats has put together for the Watkins Glen International Raceway. They have a red hot and a white hot. One is beef, one is pork.
You know what's even better? Taking 2 of those on an oversized bun at the same time.
You are not wrong, sir. And matter of fact, when you come up to visit again, we're going to Hyde's, and I'm going to let you order that from them. And you can taste Hoffman's.
Hey, I've had Hoffman's too. I haven't been to Hyde's, but I've had Hoffman's, and it's a deal. I hope they got some dill pickle.
They have both dill and sweet relish, but they also sell whole dill pickles.
Now I'm really hungry.
Absolutely.
As we continue to watch this battle between Matt White and Jeremy Miller. I mean, Tony, White is there. He is on the back as we go on board. Taking a look there.
He's not there anymore.
Where'd he go? Oh, did he blink out?
He did. Now he's back.
There he is. Every time we go on board, Tony, it looks like we start shenanigans. Beautiful paint job on Matt White's Ford Mustang. Very Jimmy Johnson-esque type paint scheme, except that's a Ford. Jimmy Johnson drove a Chevrolet. Ooh, you see the sparks flying there. They're getting all of the curbing here.
Oh, they absolutely are. They're throwing it through the bus stop, and that's what you got to do here. You got to gamble in the bus stop if you're going to want to make up any headway. As we go now on board with White, they work their way around the 50 deuce. 62 of John Wilco.
Yeah, John's running right now, 1 lap down in that 21st position.
We're now on board with Mark Johnson, as that was Dave Frug that just went by him. Frug now back even with the board after spinning it through turn 9 on lap 3. Only took him about 10 laps to get back even.
Hey, I seen Mark Johnson in a couple practice sessions. So a lot of these guys actually putting in a lot of seat time, trying to get really good here. And it's paying off for Mark, even though he's trying to rebound from some trouble early. As you mentioned, Tony, he's got that car pointing in the right direction, climbing back through the field. And I appreciate that, Mark. I see that. Rest in peace, RJ. Thank you very much, my man.
If he can get back close to Frug, we need to take a quick look again at Dave Prove Jr.'s license plate. I don't know if you caught it or not.
I caught a glimpse of it. I didn't happen to catch exactly what it said, but I know he's got something on there.
Well, let's get up here with Rich.
Oh, he just walked the dog.
And he can do that. Mark Johnson having issues. You cannot straddle that curbing on the exit of one. Leave 2 tires on the track or put all 4 tires off the track. Do not try to straddle that, because especially, even more so now with these flat bottoms on these cars and how close you got to run them to the ground for those ground effects to work. It's so easy to high center one of these things and lose all the grip.
Yeah, it turns into a slip and slide, as we've seen a couple times now. Rick Jett continues on his charge. Now inside the top 15, just not outside the top 10 in that 13th place position.
+9, though. I mean, that's a strong run.
Hey, like I said earlier, Godzilla doing Godzilla-type things. He's eating good in the neighborhood once again, and he's backing up his lap times. He's in the ballpark of where he qualified. Going to look for Rich Jett to continue to march through the field here. That 77 looks really strong here right now.
He does, but he's got 17 seconds to make up on Cody Colley, who's sitting in 12th. There's Cody. He's got almost 5 seconds to make up on Tanner Marty. And you take a look at the scoring pylon right now as, let's do this. What do you see there?
I see
a lot of blue
Empire
ovals.
Returns.
You're darn too. A lot of blue ovals.
Yep.
And then you've got a handful of Chevys with Princeton in 9th, Cali in 12th, Jett in 13th, and then Dave Prove Jr. Breaks up the bow tie brigade as he's in front of Aaron Mack, who's got the last Chevy in the top 20 right now.
Yeah, you got the Iron Curtain of the Fords through 5th, and then you got the 3 Chevrolets, the ones that, if they are going to bring a fight to the Fords, it's been those 3 drivers time and time again.
Princeton, Rogers, and Marty,
Bingo.
Colley, and Jets. Those 5 right there.
Bingo. Alex Princeton having a great run here, just inside the top 10, currently occupying that 9th place position. He's gained a couple spots as too out there on the racetrack. But Tony, as you mentioned, we're starting to get strung out a little bit, especially in this region of the field here.
Your closest battle is right here between these last 2 Fords. That's Edstrom in the 74, Ryan Samuelson in the 81, starting to hound him, and Derek Heitman's not that far up the road.
Didn't Heitman pit start?
No. No, he started where he's supposed to.
Sometimes you get lost in the driver chat, and I thought, well, I read that wrong. But anyways, I was going to say, we've seen him do that before.
Yeah. Chris Claude pit started. No, Chris Claude. What? Hold on.
Exactly.
There's Chris Claude in the Xfinity 10G car. Claude, I don't think he pit started. He came down pit road on lap 1.
That's an interesting strategy. Did he perhaps get caught up in that melee going up the hill for the first time?
That's
perhaps
a good possibility. I'm trying to see if there's any damage. I'm not seeing a ton of... Oh, yeah. Look at the right front of the bumper cover on that car. Yeah, he got a piece of that opening lap's melee there. Opening lap melee.
Good eye there, Tony Trapasso. I guarantee you that's probably why he was down on pit road lap 1. Wrong place at the right time, unfortunately, for the 10, as he's currently being scored in that 22nd place position, 2 laps off the pace. Going to be a long afternoon, but no one rebounds like Chris Claude from adversity. We've seen that time and time again as well.
True story, and, you know, he's got a streak of... top tens over the last like 8 weeks.
Well, he had, and then I believe.
No, he got 10th last week.
Well, I know there was a reason why he changed his paint scheme.
Because that's right. He finished 11th. He finished 11th at Michigan.
That's right. That broke his streak, so he changed the paint scheme from the Verizon 5G. Now he's rocking the Xfinity 10G, as you mentioned, Tony.
Absolutely, but we're going back to the closest battle on track, and that would be between these two gentlemen here. And that is Edstrom, Samuelson, and Heitman, as Edstrom and Samuelson are very close to each other now.
Yeah, the battle of the Fords is starting to pick back up again.
It is, and you know, Samuelson, he needs to turn his season around. He missed quite a few races there in the midsummer, but you know, he definitely needs to pick it up to make sure he can still punch his ticket into the playoff.
Well, so far he's doing a decent job of it. Sorry to cut you off there, Tony.
No, go ahead. Cut me off
holding...
all you would like to, sir.
Not going to do that to you,
checking in with the live chat. Deb Harris checking in. Always good to have you with us. Kayla Schneider, pleasure to have you ladies with us. Nick Stein got dumped by Bennett Allen.
I think those two have a history, perhaps.
Yeah. And Stein not happy. As he's already put it on the hauler. Lap 1 puts it on the hauler.
Yeah, Stein was crap rocking, and you know, I really thought he was going to have a great run here today. And unfortunately,
if you went off practice times in the qualifying attempt, Stein had a top 10 car.
Yeah, he was one of the few, I believe, in the 110 range.
Mm-hmm. And right now, only your top 4 and Matt White have gone sub 111 here. And we've got quite a few in the 111s.
Yeah, I mean, 110 is absolutely, ballistic. As far as the pace goes. 111, that's still supernova status, in my opinion. The best lap time I've turned around this facility was a mid 114, and you're talking 4 seconds faster. You know, guys like Schneider, Murray, Roof. That's absolutely flying around this 2.45 mile facility.
Oh, it absolutely is. You're flirting with GT3 times around this joint at that point.
Great point, Tony. Continue to watch this battle here with Jeremy Miller and company, while Jacob Schneider almost out to a 2.5 second lead over the 22 of Alex Murray.
And there you see Schneider currently showing the way and only lap cars around him. And we go back to Murray. There he is.
Remember, Alex Murray races in real life as well.
Both these guys are kart racers.
Tell you what, if I ever get into Greenville, South Carolina again, I'll definitely hit the racetrack with Schneider. I'll let him blow my doors off me. I don't care.
You know, I remember I was working for a car dealership, and they used to have corporate days where, you know, we'd have a day off of work, but everybody, it was mandatory fun time.
Mandatory fun day.
And we all had to go to the go-kart track. And the only problem is the go-kart track, I don't know if you have it up there or down there, but they have slick tracks where all the go-karts look like sprint cars.
Yeah, and they put that talcum powder out there on the surface.
They put the talcum powder on the ice rink smooth track, and you really have to have throttle control. And it was because the dealership manager loved racing, and he thought he was the hottest thing on 2 wheels. He brought his own fire suit to a kart race. And I'm standing there going, I really want to do this, guys.
Were these the one tire fire belt driven go karts by chance?
No, they were chain driven.
Well, that's a little bit better. The slick track I grew up racing at was called Le Mans Go Karts, just outside of Niagara Falls, New York, and they actually had a nice road course, and then they had the slick track, but the slick track had belt drive, one tire fire karts. It made it that much more difficult, but once you got the hang of it, it was fun.
Chain drive is even more difficult because all you got to do is whack the throttle and the tires immediately break loose.
Yeah, but you probably had both tires spinning on the back.
Yeah, which made it even harder to handle.
I'd rather have both tires talking versus one. But...
Well, anyways, manager tells me, you're not getting an up for the next week if you don't race.
Ouch.
So I have to race to the best of my ability. He says, yes. I said, okay, I'm going to start in the back. And he, of course, got pole position because he's a piece of shit. And 3 laps into the race, I was lapping him. 3. Not one, not 13. We were doing 30 laps. I had him a lap down after 3.
He probably didn't say much to you all week after that.
Well, the thing is, he's not the one that did my interview. And this was after I had already done my stint in racing. And he walks up to me after the race. He goes, you've done this before. No, not here.
Here.
Where have you raced before? I said, well, I was the captain of the Formula SAE team at Alfred State. I was a mechanic in the Cup Series. I worked for some super modified teams at Oswego.
As his eyeballs continue to get bigger and bigger.
Let's just say that I wasn't mandated to show up for those after that.
You can stay back at the dealership. You're still going to get your ups.
Oh, no, that was the thing. It was on Sunday, which was our day off, as the dealership owner was a devout Christian, and he, wanted to make sure that Sunday was reserved for what it should be reserved for.
Well, you're lucky because most car dealerships now, everyone's open on Sunday just about these
Only
days.
the Fusillo group.
They're still a thing.
Let me rephrase that. Only what used to be the Fusillo group.
Okay, I thought they had sold out. I guess.
When Billy died.
Correct. Billy passed away.
Yeah, Billy is no longer with us either.
I did not know that. Matt White?
He was a solid guy to work for.
Now, he was a good man.
Very, we're talking about guys that we've lost that were actually good guys here on Earth. A very, philanthropist. So, right now we go back on track as we're watching this battle for 4th, hot and heavy right now. As that is White and Miller going after each other.
Yeah, this is a white-knuckle dogfight here. Matt White and... Whoa! That's not what you want to save! How did Miller save that car?
I don't know. We're going to go back and take a look at it.
That had Code Red Disaster written all over it, Tony. Watch this.
Caught a little too much of that curbing and just unloads it.
That thing was pointed straight at that safer tire barrier there, and he stabs the brakes and he's able to save it. That man's a machine behind the wheel of that 30, I swear.
Jeremy Miller is the only driver of a next-gen car, other than someone of the Swedish contingent, that has been able to save a car that has been that sideways. And now he's got to deal with Derek Heitman, who's on a charge. Heitman slipped a couple, as both White and Miller have gotten by him.
Once you get this far forward, in the, towards the front of the field here. You make a mistake like that, it's either going to cost you a position or two, and you're going to have to work that much harder, to regain your track position. I mean, still, that was a miraculous save there by Miller. But to your point, Tony, now Heitman is within striking distance. So now Miller's going to have to do a little bit of rear view mirror driving here as well. Because Heitman he's not going to play games. He's not known to just sit and lay back. He's going to be aggressive, and he's going to put pressure on you. As you see that Ford Mustang continuing to stalk now the 30 of Miller.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Heitman, he's got to be thinking big picture right here. He's flirting with a top 5 finish, definitely getting a top 10. This is going to be points to help cement him into the top 16.
Right, and I'm sure his spotter, his crew chief, is telling him that on the radio as well. But, Tony, at the end of the day, he's a race car driver, and he's going to have those natural instincts, and that is to take positions on the racetrack. And, I mean, let's just be honest, that's what's got him here in the first place. So now you're asking him to perhaps go into a little bit of a reserve role. You're probably going to have to communicate that to Heitman over the course of this race because, I mean, let's just face it, when Heitman's on the attack, that's when he's at his best.
And you know what, Matt? We missed it. Stage 1 already in the books. Schneider, Murray, Root, White, Miller, Heitman, Edstrom, Samuelson, and Rogers, and Princeton, your top 10 to get points there. As this is your closest battle on track right now for 5th between Heitman and Miller. And there's no love lost between these two.
No, there's not. But I think they respect each other from a
No, they don't. They wanted to kill each other last week. As a matter of fact, Miller.
I wasn't gonna.
Miller was ready to kill Heitman. I mean, after that Indy race, Heitman kind of torpedoed Miller and made it so he couldn't participate in the victory picture there after the race. And Miller was livid.
Only no-filter Trapasso, ladies and gentlemen.
He was.
I know he was.
And I don't sugarcoat it.
I know you don't. I wasn't trying to fuel another, So a lot of these guys listen to the broadcast, so I like to be neutral sometimes because I don't want to,
call it like it. I'm not mad at either one of the guys. They just hate each other. And they're part of the same team, technically.
Well, when you get, Field Filler, Prodigy Esports, they're different teams, but they're related, to say the least. So, I mean, once you get, whoa!
Hang on to her, Jeremy Miller.
That's going to allow Heitman to get around, though. That's the second slip he was looking for. And another great save by
And Miller
Jeremy
comes back as Heitman locks the brakes up. Slide job coming out of 12.
Jeremy Miller just throws a stone-cold stunner.
Alex Murray just went down pit side. Green flag pit stops, getting ready to start. Murray in the double deuce, your points leader, getting ready to be the first one to do it. Matt White peels off, and he goes pit side. I take that back. He's just having more connection issues.
This all happening on lap 30, Tony. 90 laps the distance. Some of these guys perhaps running this race in reverse.
Well, I mean, as of right now, we're looking at about a 2-stop race. And Murray down and away, 4 in fuel, 44 seconds on pit road.
Great pit stop. And that's from cone to cone, pit stop included.
Absolutely.
I mean, Heitman and Miller picking right back where they left off. I thought Heitman was given a gift, and then he faltered just after Miller had his, I don't want to call it a near miss, but...
no, it wasn't. You hit the nail on the head. That was a near miss. He caught that grass going into 11 as Edstrom brings it pit side. Now there's cone 1, that yellow cone there that he just passed. Let's take a look at Edstrom here. And there is the center of excellence, number 74. And with pit road speed limit only being 35, it's got to feel like you can get out and walk faster at times. And there you see the green cone where the pace cars park. That's the exit cone, and you can pick up speed after that. But in between those two cones, you can go no faster than 35 miles an hour. Edstrom down and away. And 45.8.
45.8's flying. It's actually 40 miles an hour on pit road.
Well, there you go. That's even better.
It helps a little bit, especially when you're out there crawling down pit road after being out there on the super speedway of road courses. It feels like an eternity.
And these guys haven't given up 1 inch. As well, we were watching that, Heitman got by Jeremy Miller. Let's go back and take a look at that pass. And it looks like the bus stop is where it happened. Oh, Miller sideways through the bus stop. That's going to let Heitman get a run on him going into 9. 3 wide with Lauren Jones on the high side.
Lauren Jones probably screaming, "I don't want any part of this."
He knew what was coming, and he knows there's no love lost between these two. As we go back to live action now, Heitman and Miller still your closest battle on track as we are 8 to go here in stage number 2.
No cautions here, and laps are just flying by here, especially at the pace these leaders are putting up. Side by side there. That's a lap car. I believe that's the 62 of John Wilco. It is.
Wilco doing exactly what Lauren Jones did, getting up and out of the way quickly. And now we're seeing RJ Root and Jeremy Miller come pit side. Heitman stays out.
You know, we've seen this work too. Oh, Chris Claude locks up the...
Whoa!
Get skinny. Heitman got hyped up right there when Chris Claude had a little bit of a miscue. But what I was saying, Tony, we've seen this work earlier today from William Byron, who won today's race, staying out an extra lap or two, getting that clean air.
Now the question is,
really helped him,
how big is the undercut going to be?
Well, that's what we're going to find out.
Because you take a look from Murray to Schneider, who just went down pit road. It's only a 32-second delta between the two of them. And it's a 44-second delta to get up, down, on, and off pit road.
That's if you're perfect.
Schneider's in trouble.
Let's see if what Schneider's able to do here now without having any pressure, in the vicinity. Oh, well, now Schneider's on pit road.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Schneider went down pit road, and he didn't have that big of a gap as Heitman flashes by.
Kansas Sunoco fuel there for the 0-2. Still liking that.
And there's Murray. There is Murray. There is Heitman right in front of him. And Heitman's on cold tire hockey pucks. Or sorry, Schneider's on cold tires.
And they're as cold as ice and slick as a button.
Absolutely. Cold tires here, it must feel like at times you could put studded snow tires on and have better luck.
And you got to be very careful with cold tires and that full tank of fuel in the back. The car does not perform the same like it did before you came down pit road. You got to remember that as a driver.
Oh, tap, you're it. And there goes Murray. Side by side through 12. And I guarantee you both these guys have a smile on their face right now. This is fun. Two kart racers hucking full fender NASCAR Cup cars around the super speedway of road courses. Murray now back to the lead, as Heitman has already been down pit road, done and dusted. He's back to 5th. And Miller's starting to reel him in. Let's go back and check that battle out. If Miller gets to him, Heitman's in trouble. We go back up to the lead. Your battle for first. Murray and Schneider, less than a car length separation. It's up through the S's.
Yeah, coming up through the S's, an uphill climb here. Schneider falls back just a little bit, but he could be trying to set him up here into the bus stop, into this hard braking zone.
Not with a lap car, he's not.
And look at those two just full send into that bus stop. But like you said, Tony, that's what you got. That's what you have to do if you want to be fast here. You got to walk the line, and they certainly have been doing that lap after lap. I mean, getting everything they can through that bus stop.
As we go back to that battle between Miller and Heitman, Miller is right there.
Yeah, Miller is right there, and someone went off course, locked the tires up, go on board, looking out the back. About 2.5 car lengths. Oh, Miller got loose there again.
And so did Heitman. They both had to chase it coming off the carousel.
Yeah, Miller was in drift mode, though.
Back up to the front. Oh, Alex Princeton, get out of the way.
I believe Princeton's still on the lead lap, so he's not. Oh,
Jesus.
3 wide. Princeton, this can't be good.
Princeton jams on the binders early to get out of that mess. Miller, ZFG. Murray just kept his foot in it and sent it.
Yeah, he kept his foot in it. Princeton, as you mentioned, hard on the binders. You can't go 3 wide through the bus stop. It's hard with 2 wide.
It's next to impossible 2 wide, 3 wide. Forget it. You're going to be piecing a car back onto the trailer.
Yeah, all those fans sitting up there, they're going to get their money's worth if you try that. Side by side drag race, little John Force special action coming on here down into 1. You see the brake rotors glowing. What a pass by a driver of the 02 P1 coffee machine.
Speaking of John Force special, Matt, did you hear what happened at the Brainerd Nationals this past weekend?
I did not.
The Nitro teams all boycotted Friday night qualifying.
Boycotted?
Mm-hmm.
That can't
Not a single Nitro car fired off Friday night for the night of fire. Because there was an oil down earlier in the day, and during round 1 of qualifying, one of the funny cars oiled down the track, and the track crew did not clean the track up enough to satisfy all the Nitro teams, and a couple of cars that ran after it almost lost their cars.
Well, then I don't blame them. I applaud them for that actually.
Absolutely, and the NHRA officials got together with the drivers and told the track, we're not racing unless you really spray the ever-loving bejesus out of this thing with the stickum.
The speeds those cars are running, you can't afford to let those tires slip at all. I mean,
330 from a standing start. And you figure, these guys, they may do 200 at some tracks, Indy cars, you can see 230 at some tracks. No. Nothing compares to a Top Fuel dragster firing off. There was an interview, I think you and I were talking about this last week. There was an interview with Tony Stewart, and he explained, to Pat McAfee, that it's 6 Gs accelerating, throwing your eyeballs to the back of your skull, and it's 7 Gs when you pull the parachutes at the end of the run.
Yeah, so
as your eyeballs try to separate from the rest of your body.
Yeah, that's violent, you know. Point being, you can't afford to have oil out on the racetrack. Any type of residual residue, I don't blame those drivers one bit.
And there is your top 10 as stage 2 comes to an end. Schneider, Murray, Root, White, Heitman, Miller, Edstrom, Samuelson, Rogers, and Princeton getting the last point, with Sean Rogers being the last car on the lead lap.
Sean Rogers currently being scored in that 8th place position right now.
Ninth.
Or 9th, thank you, Tony. And that just goes to show the pace that these leaders are putting up here. I mean, they're absolutely getting it around this race facility. I mean, 8 competitors on the lead lap, and, you know, all these drivers out here, you know, they are great wheelmen. They put so much time and attention into these races. They only have 8 cars on the lead lap. That's saying something.
How many times this season have we seen the entire field go a lap down? The last time we were in, air quote, wine country. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
We're back to this battle for the lead between Schneider and Murray. And that is your only battle on track right now. As they're getting ready to put Lauren Jones a lap down. Jones gets up and out of the way, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Going right to the top shelf where Mama likes to hide the cookies. No, track limits, bud. That's the road course, or the boot. You don't want to go to the boot. Go onto the boot, you get the boot. Schneider and Murray right now running stem to stern, 1-2. They've got a 15, almost 16-second gap over RJ Root. And with that, we are going to step away, pay a couple bills, and we'll be back right after this. And we are back at the Glen, and you just watched the pass for the lead as Alex Murray just blew the doors off Jacob Schneider going into one and has pulled almost a 2-second gap in just one lap. Going back to the closest battle on track, that's between Jeremy Miller and Brandon Edstrom. There you see those two Fords running stem to stern right now. Rich Jett in 12th place is the next car behind these guys. And we are officially at the halfway mark here at the Glen. The competition caution going to be coming out any moment now, as we still don't know when race control is going to throw it.
Yeah, that's a Joker wild card. We don't know. The competition doesn't know. Only race control knows. But as you mentioned, Tony, that should be coming sooner than later.
No, we are officially at the halfway mark.
Yeah, we're working lap 45 of 90. That's halfway home.
Now, let me rephrase that. We're going to be at the halfway mark at the end of this lap.
Close enough.
No, you're not wrong.
You need to watch these drivers absolutely just destroy the bus stop each and every time they come through there.
And while we were away at commercial break, Cody Colley has gotten by Tanner Marty. There is Colley. Got the 29 of Marty behind him. This is now your closest battle on track.
Yeah, hot and heavy, eating good in the neighborhood. The Colonel's under fire here, Tony. Got the 29 of Marty knocking on the back door.
These two guys doing battle with each other. They're letting Alex Princeton and Sean Rogers, your two highest running Chevys, get away from them. This is your battle for 10th right now between Colley and Marty. Neither one of them on the lead lap.
But still, nonetheless, it's still racing for that 10th place position. And
oh, absolutely. I mean, it's still... 10th place points are still 10th place points, and Colley definitely needs them. But for that matter, so do Rogers, Princeton, and Marty. And Schneider goes pit side early.
Schneider's going to take it downhill off to the pit area here. Remember, you're pitting fakey here in reverse. Lap 47.
This is strategy, because he's now going to be able to stay out under the competition caution.
Yeah, so this is his money stop here for that 0-2.
No. It's not the money stop. Because we're still almost 45. Well, we're going to be...
oh, that's right.
40 laps to go here and only 3 laps. Fuel only.
Full tank of Go Fast, no Goodyears. He comes back out, going to get that Mustang up to speed as soon as possible because the herd is coming behind him, being led by Chris Claude. He's multiple laps down as well.
Yeah, but Brandon Edstrom and Jeremy Miller are not, and that's RJ Root in trail behind those two.
Yeah, Mr. Excitement himself here in the Stacy Strong Cup Series, 69 time. He's in the middle. He's in the hunt, as always.
Murray's on pit road.
Wonder if Murray seen what the 0-2 did and decided, hey, you know what? I better do the same thing. Let's see if it's just fuel only as well for the driver of the number 22 Ford Mustang, Alex Murray. He stops it in the box.
No
Good
tires.
Execution coming in.
Okay, he's taken 2. He took 2.
Now that's interesting.
Very. That gives that man the lead of the race as he's coming up to put Tanner Marty a lap down. That is Tanner Marty in 11th place right in front of him. Marty currently being scored as the last car on the lead lap, but for how much longer? As your biggest mover by far is the man driving in front of Marty. That's the KFC 56 of Cody Colley. He sits plus 17 on the field tonight.
Yeah, not plus 7, plus 17 for Cody Colley. That is absolutely lights out.
And if you're just joining us, you'll see that rest in peace on a lot of the drivers' information pages. That has nothing to do with Raymond Root, because there's RJ driving right there in 6th place. That has to do with longtime Buffalo Sabres play-by-play announcer Rich Jenneret, who unfortunately lost his life this past Thursday, a long-time battle with multiple organ failure. He was in hospice care, and he died in the company of his family at his home this past Thursday evening. And tonight, a lot of drivers showing their honor to a New York State legend, a hockey legend, a broadcasting legend, one of the best to ever strap on a headset, and I'm sure you would agree with me on that, Matt.
He certainly definitely was one of the best, from the start of his career all the way up until he put the headset down. We really didn't know why up until recently, but
I mean, the man had throat cancer back in 2014, and as soon as the doctor said, well, you can start using your voice, but I wouldn't recommend broadcasting, that man was in the broadcast booth that night.
Yeah, he was, that's right.
Against doctor's orders. And it was one of his best calls all season. And there's the competition caution.
Lap 50, competition caution comes out. This is going to bunch everyone back up, especially everyone on the lead lap.
40 to go when they catch the pace car. And you can't help but wonder, what are we going to be seeing under this caution? Because we know they can make it 34 laps. John Rogers had the best fuel mileage. Actually, Rich Jett had the best fuel mileage under the first set of stops, went 35. And we know that 35 is possible, but you're not making it 40 plus laps on a tank of fuel.
Yeah, that's a huge ask out of that tank of Go Fast. I mean, as you mentioned, 34 laps. I mean, that's something that driver does so well so many times, is getting the most out of that fuel tank. But 40 laps, a huge ask, Tony.
And really, only your top two have come down for fuel. And with that, Alex Murray took 2. And if I had to guess, I'm going to say he took less, being as most of the corners here are right-hand turns.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to ask you. I didn't want to cut you off, but, what was 2 tires going to do to the balance of this race car?
Loosened it up.
Typically it's...
And with that, let's take a look at the weather conditions, because it's been overcast. There you go. It's dropped 10 degrees, so apparently Murray wanted to loosen his car up.
Well, as you mentioned, Tony, 2 tires, you said we'll do that. I take your word for it. Is now that temperature underneath the century mark, coming in at 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Still 54% relative humidity, or as you like to say, water drain.
No, grain with a G.
Yes, exactly.
It sounded like you said water drain, like with a D.
No.
Okay. I'm hearing things, folks.
The voices. Temperature back out in front here. Only for the second time. The first time we seen it was on the initial pace lap here, or the warm-up lap.
Look, Matt.
Competition.
I know the voices aren't real, but sometimes they have such good ideas. And for those of you wondering, I'm not kidding. Remind me when we're done with this broadcast, Matt. I need to share a video with you from one of the greatest punk bands of all time, a band named Crossbar, out of Buffalo.
'78 went for the fake, no one bit.
No one in the front of the field bit. Jeremy Miller, R.J. Rude, Ryan Stevenson, Sean Rogers all going pit side. Princeton goes pit. Looks like Collie has not caught the pace car yet.
Murray, Schneider, SRM all stay out.
There's Tanner Marty, who just got his lap back by virtue of free pass. And it looks like Heitman's going to be sticking to his strategy of coming down right around lap 60. Now, he went 34 laps on that opening salvo.
Could it just maybe be enough fuel to get him the distance and drop the jack and off he goes?
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what it looks like Heitman's strategy is going to be. And for that matter, Murray and Schneider are both going to have to come back down. But now that they pit off sequence, as they were both down on lap 47 and 46 respectively, those guys are going to be able to short pit that last stop and not have to pack on as much fuel.
The less time on pit road.
Absolutely. And, we've called these tires hockey pucks. Let's take a look at some lap time history here. Let me just get that off the screen. There we go. As we are going to go take a look here. Schneider and Murray, even on the old tires, they were still running low 11s.
That's still hashtag full send Cletus McFarland, as he would say. That's still flying around this facility. Good in the neighborhood each and every lap.
You kind of have to. Something's wrong with R.J. Root. Spending an extended amount of time on pit road. Oh, no.
Yeah, maybe
some
damage.
He's got some heavy damage on that right front fender.
Yeah, clearly we missed that, Tony, but you're right. That fender still isn't where it should be.
I'm going back to see if I can find anything here. And I'm not seeing where... Yeah, I'm not seeing at all where RJ had an off track.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that came from either, Tony.
Lights are out on the pace car. Heitman going to have the button this time. Murray going to start to his outside. And unfortunately for this league, they don't have a choose cone.
Yeah, another thing I'm a huge fan of, no choose cone. That's just another thing to get it wrong, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, that started really back in the 90s with the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series.
Yeah, it did. And that's dirt track racing, and that's its own identity, and it works there.
I'm just glad they don't have a, I believe they call it an Oklahoma start here, where the leader starts alone and then the two cars line up behind him and it's game on as soon as the green flag comes out.
You really want to make Twitter come alive in the NASCAR universe. Start doing that.
People are pissed off enough with stage cautions.
Exactly.
At least we've got the Southern 500 back.
This is true. Throw in a Tornado Alley restart, and that'd be a whole nother level, I promise you.
You're not wrong. As the field comes out in turn 12, pace car gets ready to make that hard right turn. There it goes. And here we go. Heitman brings him into the Geico restart zone. We are back underway.
Oh, it's hype time and prime time. Gonna edge out Alex Murray.
And here comes Schneider.
Schneider's wasted no time because he knows Alex Murray has a fast Ford Mustang. So he's going to dial up the pressure all he can, especially here while everyone is nose to tail for the shortcomings. Firing off into the bus stop here. There's a heavy braking zone. Look at how these cars catch air. I mean, look at the sparks flying, as you mentioned, those underbelly pans, Tony. Is that the 80?
That's the 80 of Mark Johnson. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to him. Looks like Rafael Rodriguez may have caught a piece of it. Oh, Rich Jack got pinned. And that hand grenaded the engine on the 30. Oh, no. And what could have been for Rich Jet? He completely destroyed that car. Cannot get it off the Armco barrier, and he had to tow it back to pit. Oh, what could have been for the Chevys. Here we go, RJ Root working on Sean Rogers now. Rogers, your highest running Chevy. Oh, Root gets too much of the bus stop. RJ Root got a little bit greedy, took too much of the bus stop, and loses it. As here come Tanner Marty and Cody Colley. Now, the good news is RJ didn't hit anything. As Alex Murray has gotten by Derek Heitman. And holy Christmas. Matt, are you seeing this? Fast lap of the race, Derek Heitman, 109.75, only eclipsed now by Alex Murray, 109.27 with an O. You know, we were wondering how long it was going to be before we saw somebody go sub-minute 10 here. And right now, it's your top two guys that have done it. Schneider flirting with it with a 110.06 with an O. With that, Murray now leads by 1.25 seconds. And we may have lost Matt. Heitman, Schneider, and Edstrom, second, third, and fourth, running stem to stern right now. Some of your closest battles on track between these three. And Edstrom just recovering from a foot injury, still not quite up to pace, but he's hanging in there, running fourth right now. Solid run for the 74. And these guys are asking the question, what track limits coming off of turn 9? And you can hear Schneider just feathering the throttle right now. He does not want to go side by side into the S's. But is he going to try it going into the bus stop? No. He's not going to dive bomb.
Not there, not that time. Still got plenty of time as far as the laps are concerned, especially at 2.5 miles a lap. But nonetheless, I mean, the urgency only can go up from here, Tony. See him take it wide sweeping there. You do that over on turn 1, though. That's out of bounds. You got to be very careful. You can't run that line in turn 1, how you saw on TV today. That's an out of bounds penalty every time. Coming into 12 here. Oh, he is right there knocking on the back door. Does he try to pull out here and make a pass? He's thinking about it.
He's got clean air on the radiator now. And he sends it.
Great job not locking up the tires.
Heitman hasn't given up.
No, he hung right with him, but there he has to, because that's a high sweeping corner there, and you're on the verge of just losing your grip there, single car formation. Had no choice but to back it down, give him the position.
Absolutely. It's now Heitman starting to fall into the clutches of Edstrom.
Piper beat back to the front.
And now only your top 3 have gone sub 1 minute 10 here tonight. Edstrom flirting with it, though.
Oh, he'll be there before the night's over.
I mean, look at that. A minute 10:01 with a 7.
That's almost the minute 9 sec. That's GT3 pace.
Murray and Edstrom are down pit road.
Oh. So 30 laps, that's what the gamble's going to be. As Hyperbean and company stays out.
And the thing is, Murray could have stayed out another 10 or so laps.
He could have. But they chose, clearly there was some collaboration going on there as far as when to come down pit road. And they said, hey, 30 to go, we're coming down. That's our story, we're sticking to it, and that's what they did. So now the battle of the Fords continues up front here at the point. I want to thank everyone again for joining us live on SRM. All of our loyal fans that we can count on you each and every Sunday night here in the chat, cheering on your favorite drivers here in prime time. We appreciate you each and every week for being with us. If you're new here to the broadcast, smash the like button, ring the bell, come home to 7 nights of high-flying, high-octane eSIM racing action, only right here on SRM.
And checking in that live chat that you just mentioned. Hendrick wondering what happened to Bennett, as I am looking for Bennett right now, and there he is. He has put it on the hauler early, because Bennett unfortunately has hit everything except the pace car tonight.
Yeah, Bennett just had a rough go here, I believe, from the drop of the green flag.
He had trouble in practice and qualifying as well. And just decided, you know what, I'll get my show-up points and leave. As we're about a half-full field here tonight. Only 28 drivers electing to take the green.
You know, it's unfortunate because I was in a practice session with him earlier today, and he was bad fast. Just a shame that this race didn't go, it didn't go more in his favor, but that's racing sometimes, Tony. Sometimes it's your week and you're on, and other times you can't finance your way out of a paper bag, and that seemed to have, fallen upon him here tonight.
Well, that's just it. I think he thought it was Halloween and somebody peed in his paper bag, and all the candy fell out.
Someone beat his piñata.
You know what? I remember it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, where the kids would go trick or treat, and Charlie Brown always got rocks. It's a good thing none of my neighbors ever did that with me. I'm not saying that I would have thrown them through the picture window in the front of their houses, but I'm not saying I wouldn't have.
They probably knew better.
Yeah. Well, that, and I had a neighbor that, they always decorated their house like a haunted house. So they were the cool neighbors that, the wife worked at Nestle's, and they were always handing out full-size candy bars.
Well, that was the house everyone had circled.
Oh, absolutely. Well, theirs and ours, because my dad worked at Nestle's too. And we kept the full-size bars for ourselves and handed out extra fun-size bars. Usually every kid got 2 fun-size bars.
Hey, that's still a win.
And we let them pick out of the bowl, so they got what they wanted.
Hey, that's still a double win in my book.
Oh, absolutely.
The full-size candy bars at a Halloween stop, that's the...
Dad let me stop handing out the candy when one year I forgot to put the 100 grand bars in the bowl. And he says to me late Halloween night, he goes, what are these bags doing up on top of the freezer? Oh, I forgot to put those in the bowl, Dad. He goes, yeah, sure you did. You're grounded. Damn it. So yes, if anybody wants to get on my good side, 100 grand bars or Butterfingers.
Or both.
Or both. You'll be my best friends for life if you send both. And I do have a birthday coming up in December, so...
Better not lay a finger on Tony's Butterfinger. That's the commercial or the tagline.
Okay, Bart Simpson.
It was Bart Simpson.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Deal.
Alex Murray went fuel only again.
Liking the bold decision making here on the 22. I mean, that just shows you how much respect he has for the man currently leading this field right now. I mean, you're talking about a driver here that is consistently one of the fastest guys on the racetrack every Sunday, consistently in that number 22 Ford Mustang. And for him to go fuel only twice.
Well, he went right sides on that first one.
Right, but still, I mean, right sides only and then fuel only.
Oh, he must have seen something he liked during that first tire stop back on lap 30. It must be he wasn't too concerned with right side tire wear because he's leaving the rights on for the remainder of the race as we were coming to 25 to go.
Maybe that's what those Ryko boys, that setup likes. You know, that they have they practice religiously each and every week. Countless hours go into preparation, and that can be something that they've learned through practice. You know, hey, this setup favors, ABC, and that could be part of the formula here.
Well, the other thing you got to consider too is all the official races were here this week, and they could have found something there as well. You know, running the official A Open.
That's
not something I would try in a fixed setup, but I mean, if you can...
I'm not sure you can even try that in a fixed setup. Well, the tire part you can, but you can't play with the setup other than your master cylinder and your bias. That's about it.
Right. And I think steering wheel offset is the only other thing you could change in official.
You are correct.
So right now, this field more strung out than a methadone clinic. Closest battle on track is actually back here with Ryan Samuelson and RJ Root. About a second and a quarter separating those two. With that, we're going to step away, pay a couple bills. Don't worry, you're not going to miss a thing. We're going side by side. And we are back at Watkins Glen International Raceway, watching this battle right now between Cody Colley and Alex Princeton. Sean Rogers up the road a little ways as they work their way around Chris Claude, and expect to see a new paint scheme on the 10 next week, as Claude currently sits in 15th right now, and he has vowed to change his paint scheme every time he doesn't finish in the top 10.
Yeah, that is his thing, and he's that's his story, and he's been sticking to it, Tony. But it doesn't look like we'll be seeing 10G on the hood of that TRD Toyota Camry next week. He needs another 5 spots, and that's a pretty tall task given the fact that he's 5 laps down. And 10th place is still on the lead lap, and that is going to be Alex Princeton in the 19th.
You are correct, sir. As we're watching this battle between Colley and Princeton, I want to thank everybody for joining us in the live chat. If you haven't done so already, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let us know you like what you see. The more thumbs up these videos get, the more likely your favorite driver is to show up on someone's homepage when they log into their YouTube account on whatever device they so choose to log into it on. Hey, you might like this.
See the algorithm.
And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on Sim Racing Media, as we have racing scheduled 7 nights a week. And Matt, I know you and I are doing 3 together, and I mean, it seems like it never ends, but I mean, 7 nights a week, and most of those nights are triple and quadruple headers.
You got Super Tuesday.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you have Thunderous Wednesdays as well. So I mean, you got, what do you have? 2 or 3 broadcasts on Tuesday, and then you have
Manic Monday, Super Tuesday, Wild Wednesday. We're at least 3 races all those nights. As a matter of fact, I think Monday and Tuesday we've got 4 on tap.
Yeah, literally. I mean, if you like racing, no reason why you shouldn't be tuning into SRM. We got you covered. I mean, we have multiple doses. I mean, we start just at that 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we take you into the late evening Eastern time, and well into your evening if you're out there on the West Coast. Thoughts and prayers to everyone being impacted out there in California and the West Coast by Tropical Storm Hillary. Hopefully you guys are all safe out there and listening to
that is actually the name of it. Okay. I thought Frank Marchese was joking around when he said that was the name of it.
No, it's no. It's really Tropical Storm Hillary. Was a Category 4 major hurricane at one point, but still, first time ever in history that you had a tropical storm warning issued for Southern California, and also a high-risk flood event warning from the SPC, or Storm Prediction Center, all within the same storm. So,
and our good friend Frank Marchese, Father Marchese, as we like to call him around here, is down there in San Diego as one of the on-site producers for the Padres for their home games.
And he's in the thick of it, so hopefully Frank's doing okay. Continue to watch here. The Colonel getting some spicy action going through the bus stop right now. He's doing a great job. Cody Colley from Walton, Kentucky. Only fitting the Colonel's on board.
Hold on 1 second for me here. Okay, I had it wrong. For a minute there, I was going to ask, was it Colonel Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen? No, it's Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen who sang the song Hot Rod Lincoln.
Yes. Classic, if you ask me.
Oh, absolutely. And if you make telephone poles start looking like a picket fence, You're on some next level street outlaw shit.
Just ask Alex Murray.
I will, but right now, both Jeremy Miller, who's leading this piece, and RJ Root, who runs in second, there they are, just a bus stop away from each other. And there is Murray starting to reel in Root.
Yeah, Murray's been one of the fastest cars on the racetrack from the drop of the green flag. I mean, don't get me wrong, RJ Root and company, they've been in the wheelhouse, but I mean, that 22 has had crazy pace. I mean, from qualifying, warm-ups, all the way up through 17 laps to go where we are now. That 22 is...
Your effective race lead is Alex Murray, because Miller and Root both need to come down one more time for at least fuel. And right now, Murray leads Samuelson by 5 seconds. But Samuelson's starting to have to deal with Schneider. So, and Samuelson still has to come down for a money stop as well. So the gap between Alex Murray and effective second place of Jacob Schneider, you're a 7-second gap.
Indeed, that is the case, Tony. That's great insight there on your part. As RJ and company, they're not going to be able to make it on fuel. They're going to have to come down for some go fast, put some more juice in that juice box to get them to the end of competition. I mean, should you run out of fuel here, it's a long way around this place. It's
you ain't making it.
You're not making it.
No way are you making it.
How much clutch you got? You're not going a full lap, especially with the elevation changes.
Yeah, if you run out going into one, you're not making it up the S's. I don't care who you are.
The racing circuit, until you basically get to the top where the bus stop is, that carousel starts to downgrade.
Yeah, but you're still not you're not carrying a 3,600-pound stock car back to pit road from the bus stop.
Nope, absolutely not.
You might be able to do it going into 11. You can sputter going into 11 and still make it out of pit road, but that's about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be the one to try it or test it from the bus stop or even the carousel.
Hard no. Samuelson brings the 81 pit side for his money stop. Brandon Edstrom, who currently runs in 6th, still has to come in. Alex Murray, Jacob Schneider, and Derek Heitman are all done and dusted. They have their money stops now out of the way. Somebody's around. I don't have it.
There's your current race leader,
Aaron
Miller.
Mack. Let's go back and take a look at what happened with the Mack attack. Coming through the carousel of 9 and 10. And just loses it on the exit at 10 and bang into the Armco.
Man, he had it saved about twice and still didn't want to cooperate with him. And
third time's the charm. Into the wall you go, sir.
And the clank that you hear from inside the cockpit, it'll hurt your ears every time you make contact with Armco.
You know what? We've got a GoPro on his helmet.
You ain't going to get any more closer to the action than this, folks. Watch that steering wheel, that orange mark, that's your center. He just starts doink, clank, first gear. Make sure it's clear to pull back out into traffic.
And he is left hand down right now. That car, he's definitely knocked the toe out of that car. And he towed it. He has towed it back to pit.
Yeah, that was a sizable impact.
Oh, here we go. Battle for the lead as Miller goes pit side. Murray has caught Root.
Prime Time has the lead, but Mr. Fury himself, Murray, in that second place position, who has been among the fastest of the field here tonight, glued all over to the back of R.J. Root. Here we go for the lead right here. He's going to make it happen up at the bus stop. Still side by
No
side.
contact.
How?
No idea. Root finally lets him go, coming through the carousel, though. Going to try to cross him over on the exit of 10. Down the short chute. That's the exit of the boot right there to their left. Into 11. Good head of steam for both of these guys. Root still has to come down for the money stop.
Yeah, Root still has to come down for the money stop, but he's not letting Miller get away. He's staying right with him, doing everything in his power. Going to have some draft assist right here, getting hard onto the binders into this turn number 1 complex here.
And, it's this deep into a tire run. Look at those lap times Murray is still able to lay down here.
It's just insane, Tony, and I was able to get a taste of this myself Friday night and then today in some of the officials. These tires just do not give up. They get better. It burns off as the car gets later in the back. This car just really likes to start to slice and dice. And that's why it's such a handful for these drivers after they come down pit road and they put cold hockey pucks on it and they get all that weight back in the race car. It's a completely different machine the way you have to drive it.
Well, it's like a pendulum back there with the fuel cell being behind the rear axles. It's like a pendulum on a grandfather clock, Matt. Oh boy. Oh, it's about to get good. Miller has caught Heitman. Or is it the other way around?
Tony, I think we lost you there for a brief moment, bud.
I think it was you that got lost there, unfortunately. But Matt, when you fuel one of these cars up, it's like a pendulum on a grandfather clock.
Yeah, apparently it was me that dropped out. Sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely is. You got to let that pendulum swing, all that fuel payload swashing around back there. Definitely going to upset the balance of the race car, more so than when it's light on fuel and those tires are nice and hot and finally sticky and up to temperature. Then you have the cold hockey pucks on top of that to deal with, and you really got to remember that if you're a driver inside this race car, because it totally changes the dynamic of how you have to attack these corners and pick up the throttle. As we see Miller again in drift mode, he has had some of the best saves of the night by far in that 30. He should have had that car wadded up at least 3 times, and still it looks like it's in showroom condition.
It absolutely does, and you got to wonder if he gets the chance. As R.J. Root finally brings her pit side. This is your battle for P3.
Yeah, P3, and here comes Miller. He took a peek there. He thinks better of it. He's going to get back in line going into 1 here. You got to be careful how much curbing you get there, how much you come over the curbing, I should say, because that is a penalty, an off-course penalty in iRacing. You can't attack that section like they do on TV, unfortunately, here in the simulator.
More than half of your left side tires off of the curbing, and you're going to have to face a slowdown. Right now, this battle for third, hot and heavy, as Alex Murray shows the way by 6.5 seconds over Jacob Schneider, who is 15 3/4 seconds up the road from this little battle here. And that is not an off track, folks. That is, they're not minding the store at that corner. Oh, Miller, hold on to her. He touched the grass again. Nine to go. And let's pull up the track map so we can see who's running where and why. There you see Miller and Heitman coming up through the S's right now. Schneider's coming out of the bus stop as Murray just now coming out of the carousel at the top of your screen, the 22 is your race leader. And everybody in front of him are all lap cars, multiple laps down. Currently showing only 10 cars on the lead lap. Alex Princeton being scored as the last one as such. There he is going into one, and don't look now, but there's Murray. Princeton and Colley still doing battle for ninth. Your two of your three highest running Fords. Sean Rogers is a full 20.5 seconds up the road from these guys. And it has just been all Alex Murray and Jacob Schneider all day. Princeton and Colley, the last two cars on the lead lap, struggling to maintain. And I think Princeton's paying more attention to what Colley's doing than he is who's behind him right now. And Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we started the season, wasn't Alex Princeton one of those guys running with Murray's team? We may have lost Matt again, folks. So Murray, Schneider, Heitman, Miller, Edstrom, Root, Samuelson, Rogers, Colley on the lead lap. Colley getting ready to go a lap down here. There goes your race leader. Colley gets out of the way and immediately gets back in line so he doesn't lose any ground on Alex Princeton. Princeton starting to gain just a little bit only because Colley had to deal with the race leader. That is the 62 of John Wilco in front of Murray right now. Wilco, a couple of laps down here, just gets out of the way. 7 to go, coming to 6 to go. Murray in command of this one. He stretched the lead out down to 6.5 seconds over Schneider. There is Schneider coming through 12 right now. Is across the start-finish line as Murray throws it through one. That's an off track. And look at these lap times. Murray still in the low 110s at that. Schneider has been a little quicker, just a tick quicker over the last couple of laps, but not enough to really dig into that lead of Murray. As Murray now stretches the lead out. He got held up there a little bit with those lap cars. Ken Braun to his outside. Let's let Schneider close back in. Now it's only 6 seconds as opposed to almost 7 as it was going into the bus stop. Schneider's got to turn the wick up here. Handshake lap, 5 to go. Murray with a 1:11.2. Schneider half a second quicker. 1:10.7. There you can see it on your track map. The 22 is your race leader coming onto the backstretch now. Schneider is still in the middle of the S's, and he's got lap cars between him and Murray. How nice are the lap cars going to play for Schneider? Chris Claude got out of the way. Ken Ron, usually a very courteous driver, he gets up and out of the way. It did hold Schneider up just a tick, because now it's back out to 6.5 seconds. coming to 4 to go. Murray onto the front straightaway. 4 laps to go for your race leader. Can Schneider reel him in? It's going to take a miracle.
Parting of the Red Sea. As I'm back with you folks, just trying to get back into the session, just about there.
We are 4 laps to go. Murray, Schneider, Heitman, your top 3. As we go back to this battle for the last couple of spots in the top 10, that is Cody Colley and Alex Princeton doing battle for 9th. And this is your closest battle for position on track. And just as I say that, RJ Root has caught Brandon Edstrom coming up through the S.
He is there right on the back of that Shelby GT 500. Being piloted by Estrom, as you just mentioned, Tony Trabasso. 69-time RJ Root making his presence known as the 74th. Probably definitely rear view mirror driving right now, trying to find out exactly where RJ is going to make his move. He's not close enough quite yet, but he is lurking. You get heavy in this braking zone here. Let's see if RJ can cut into the distance, and he does there a little bit, but loses it there on exit. RJ gets a great corner there, but Brandon Estrom really good rotating and getting off the corners here. RJ seems to have an advantage on the initial in on the corner into the braking zone here as he goes for the move. Not enough. Estrom slams the door. Look forward to that, peeking down hard inside. Estrom left the door open there a little bit. RJ just could not muster the corner speed. He's going to fall back in line, single file as they come up to the top of the hill. Charging towards that bus stop, you see the DRS zone. That's not applicable to Cup Series. That's for Indy cars.
Actually, that's in case Formula One ever decides to come back. Because Indy cars, you can use...
signage, they got to be hoping.
Huh?
Signage, they have to be hoping.
Well, I mean, it's all's fair in iRacing. As a matter of fact, you can even run a Formula One car on the dirt track. Yeah, I said that. You can run a Formula One car on a dirt track in iRacing.
I've heard some of them do quite well in the dirt.
They do. I mean, that's got to be scary. It's scary enough running around Bristol on a paved course with a Formula One car, because you're talking sub 8 second laps. I can only imagine what it's like on a dirt track, especially in a multi-class race. That would be downright scary.
No, thank you.
Because right now, your race leader, 2 to go, coming to the white flag. We're watching this battle for...
Oh! RJ caught all of the sausage patty and grenaded into the barrier.
He had connection. RJ's gone. It didn't even register.
Well, I seen it on my end.
Well, let's go back and take a look at that. Is RJ rage quit?
Yeah, he caught a piece of the fence to the face. I mean, a big piece. Watch this as they come back up the hill here. They're attacking the hill. And he's going to try and set up the 74 and make a move, except he forgot about that blue fencing. Watch this, Tony.
Oh!
Oh!
No, that DQ'd him.
That disqualified him.
That DQ'd our... oh, my goodness.
The DQ award wipes one of the major contenders who's been inside the top 5 or at that 5th place position all race long.
But Alex Murray comes home victorious here at the Glen. Schneider hangs on for second place. Heitman gets credited with third unless the wheels fall off here.
Yeah, he's just got to bring it around in one piece, hit your marks, make no mistakes. Another great run for Derek Heitman. But Alex Murray continues to shine in primetime once again in the double deuce with another statement win for the driver of the number 22.
And Matt, I believe you've got the driver of the double deuce with you now.
Alex Murray, Matt and Tony up in the booth. You got us, bud.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Man, you are so fun to watch on all of these different race courses, these racetracks you go to each and every Sunday night. Yet again, you dial up one of your epic performances. How do you make it look so easy week in and week out, my man?
Reco Performance, Ken Byron at Reco Performance puts a good setup under our cars every week, and then obviously got to run laps and get good at driving each and every track. So can't thank Ken enough, and P1 Coffee Co. for coming on board this year, and hopefully we can make a long playoff run here and get ourselves a championship.
Well, I'd say you guys are poised to do it. I mean, each and every week, if it's not you, it's someone else from your camp that's in victory lane. And I know you mentioned, your HMFIC over there at Reco Performance, but I mean, you guys put in a ton of practice time each and every week, correct?
Oh yeah, we run. We have a minimum of 4 races each week that each driver on the team has to run, and with that being said, with it being 35 lap races and everything, 4 races plus 35 laps plus NIS, which is 45. So everyone's got some laps under their belt, and it's been good. Everyone gets their laps, and that's why we're fast.
It's like anything in life. Oftentimes it doesn't come easy. You have to put the blood, sweat, and tears in. You have to put in the seat time, and that's exactly what you and the rest of your team do week in and week out. Congratulations on yet another victory here in the Stacy Strong Cup Series. Now, I got to ask you, next week it's a totally different animal. Going back to the High Bank Super Speedway action, what can we expect from you there?
Not sure. I think we're all going to work together, and then the last 10 laps we're going to dice it up and see how it plays out. But Daytona's Daytona, and could get wrecked out lap 1. Who knows?
That's right. The biggest wild card, if there ever was one, is Daytona. Couldn't agree with you more. Before we cut you loose, Alex, let you go celebrate another win. Who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 22?
Reco Performance, Shamrock Auto Care, P1 Coffee Co., everyone at Prodigy Esports, my fiance and my baby boy for watching me, and hopefully we can get him again next week.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, from Concord, North Carolina. No one lights the wick and unleashes the fury like Alex Murray. He's your winner from Watkins, Glen here in Wine Country. Tony, back to you.
Joining me now is a man who came runner-up to him after a dominating performance last week at Indy, another dominating performance here tonight at the Super Speedway of road courses. Jacob Schneider, you doubted me last week when I told you the good news. Even with a second-place finish tonight, you're still clawing your way up through the point standings. Coming into tonight, you'd already clawed your way into a playoff berth with those 2 wins that you have on the season and being in the top 32 in points. Congratulations on another podium finish. Talk us through what happened.
Yeah, appreciate it. I think I'm definitely locked in now. I could probably not even race next week, but
I wouldn't do that.
No, I'll still race. I'll still be here. But yeah, the race started off good. I won both stages, and I took tires at that first stop, thinking that eventually new tires would pay off. But iRacing's a little broken with these NASCARs at road courses, and just new tires were a disadvantage. And I never had a chance after I took those tires.
At any time, did you ever consider taking 2? Because that's what we saw Alex Murray do on the second pit stop.
No, I took 4 at the first one, and
well, he did too.
Yeah, I never had a chance again.
All right, fair enough. Jacob Schneider, though, congratulations on yet another podium finish. You've set this league on fire since you've shown up. As a matter of fact, I don't think you finished outside the top 5 in a single race since coming into the league.
I had a bad week at Michigan, but yeah, overall it's been good. Won a lot of stages and a couple races.
All the points matter here coming into the playoffs. One final race next week for the regular season at the World Center of Racing. What are your thoughts going into the plate track at Daytona?
I have no experience with the plate racing stuff, so I'll probably just ride in the back and try to survive.
Fair enough. Jacob Schneider, congratulations on another podium. Who helps you get it done on the O2?
Ryko, Prodigy, Field Filler, and I got some fans watching on your guys' broadcast, so shout out to them.
Absolutely, you have some fans watching. Who is Kayla?
Kaylee is my sister.
There you go. Your sister definitely checking in. We're wishing you good luck. She's definitely been your good luck charm since you started coming here to the Stacey Strong Cup Series. Best of luck to you next week at the World Center of Racing.
Hopefully I get to talk to you guys again.
Absolutely, sir. And Matt, I believe you've got the man who came in third place with you now, who also has punched his ticket into the playoffs so far.
That's right. The driver of the number 78, Derek Heitman, once again impresses in the Stacey Strong Cup Series with another blistering fast race car. Exhilarating performance here tonight. Derek, how do you continue, like, the other fast forwards in the field, to make it look so easy? I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Alex Murray.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, it definitely is not easy. A lot of concentration, a lot of bobbing and weaving around the lap cars on the track. I mean, there was just so many close calls tonight. I just put my head down and did my best to bring it home.
Now, there's the answer I'm looking for. You called it exactly like you saw it out there on the racetrack, and it was downright treacherous out there at times for you. You're absolutely right, but you stuck to your guns. You kept the plan in check, and you're able to come home with a third place position here tonight. Congratulations. Next week, looking at now Daytona, completely different type of racetrack. We're going to the high banks, plate racing in full effect. What's the game plan for you next week? You going to try to survive in the back, or should we anticipate you being up towards the front all race long?
I'll anticipate me being up towards the front. Being in the middle of the pack or at the back at Daytona is just, any plate track just seems to be the most dangerous place to be. Just strictly because that just seems to be where all the wrecks happen. If you're up front, you seem to be a little bit more safer. I guess I really wouldn't have any problem riding around at the back of the pack if I didn't think that the back of the pack was going to be disconnected from the lead pack at Daytona, but that's probably just going to be how it is with the different power that we have under the hood in this league. So I'm going to try to run it up front, try to get a win before the playoffs start, but it seems I might be punched in on points anyways, so we'll just give it our best shot and see if we can make it down to the Final Four.
You were 15th
There
coming
we go.
in tonight, sir.
There
Yes,
we go.
We just said 15th coming into tonight, so you are there, my friend. Congratulations. I don't want to take too much of your time up. I know you got some celebrating to do, but who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on that number 78 team?
Well, first off, I want to thank Watkins Glen for being such a great track. I absolutely love this track. I've won many, many, many important league races here. Unfortunately, Jacob and Alex, being kart drivers in real life, I just ain't got nothing for them at the road courses. So, me being a casual racer, I'm just happy to bring home P3. I want to shout out Ryko for giving us the great setups put underneath the hood every single week. Shout out Prodigy Esports for bringing me on the team and giving me the opportunity that I have.
Well, there
and
he
shout
is,
out
ladies.
to you guys, for putting on a great broadcast, and
We appreciate
shout out Chris for putting on a good league too. And sorry to cut you off there. I know you want to do your outro, but I can't forget the broadcasters.
And
Thank you.
Certainly appreciate that, man. And hey, that's your seat time, man. You earned that. Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Hype Man was the hype man here at Watkins Glen. Another solid performance, podium finish, comes home third place. He'll certainly take it. Looking to get a victory at Daytona next week to get that synergy rolling towards that playoff run. Tony Trapasso, back to you, bud.
And with that, we get another one in the books here tonight from the Finger Lakes of Central New York. Alex Murray, Jacob Schneider, Derek Heitman. We spoke to those three gentlemen. Jeremy Miller hanging on for fourth. Brandon Edstrom hangs on for fifth after doing major battle with RJ Root, who unfortunately is being scored in 10th after getting DQ'd on incident points. Maybe one too many times, running it wide, coming out of one for RJ. Brandon Edstrom finishing fifth. Ryan Samuelson, Sean Rogers, Cody Colley, Alex Brinson, RJ Root running out your top 10. Sean Rogers, the highest running Chevy in the field, coming home. It's the last car on the lead lap. Tanner Marty in another one of the Chevys who did some great battling here tonight, coming home in 11th. John Wilco, Ken Ron, and Ron Fitting running out the top half of the field. Matt?
Bring you rest of the way through the final results here from Watkins Glen. And 15th, the 10 machine of Chris Claude. 16th belongs to Rafael Rodriguez. 17th, that's Aaron Mack. Lauren Jones comes home in 18th. 19th belongs to Godzilla Rick Jett. Rounding out your top 20, that's the 80 of Mark Johnston. Nathaniel Spoomer, Matt White, Alexander Glenner, Dave Fugue Jr., and Bennett Allen round out your top 25. 26 belongs to R.P. Allen, who had trouble early. 27th, John Crow Sr., and rounding out the 28 starters here tonight, Nick Stein in the 82 comes home in that 28th and final position, Tony.
And that is going to do it for us tonight. Again, thoughts and prayers going out to all our family and friends out on the West Coast. Stay safe during, I believe it's been downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm over the last 24 hours, but that's still nothing to screw around with. Just stay safe. And just let us know when you can that you are safe with what's going on out on the West Coast. Thoughts and prayers going out to the family of Rich Jenneret, who unfortunately lost his battle with some long-time illnesses here just this past Thursday. He's Matt Metler. I'm Tony Trapasso. Remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life this week, do me a huge favor. First of all, tell your family early and often that you love them. And don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.